Kylo here. You know, this is gonna be another one of those kind of preachy style videos. There's something going on that I see in the community, on the internet. It's got to do with tandem flying. I come from a licensed pilot background, and sort of the biggest deal and the prime directive for the FAA, at least in the United States, is passenger safety. Public safety is the prime directive for the Federal Aviation Administration. And so when we start, we've got these privileges. We got these privileges that we can fly these paramotors, and we can take these things and just do all the stupid shit that we want. That's your privilege. You can go kill yourself in a river. That's fine. That's fine. But when you take on the responsibility of taking up a passenger, you got to come at it from a totally different mindset than what you would do out here yahooing on a freaking butt fan. You've got someone's life in your hands, and things are different. You got to look at it different. You got to fly different. You got to make the best decisions, not good decisions, but the best decisions when you're trying to keep someone safe and to keep everybody from being unalived. And I don't know the details. I don't want to go into, any sort of speculation about what was going on in Oregon in the Willamette River, but apparently a paramotor went down and killed a passenger. Pilot survived. It gives me a terrible feeling, and I see people doing it, and I've done it. You just take people up for a ride. When we do tandem paramotor, we're exempted in the subtext of training. You're supposed to use the tandem exemption as a training tool to teach people to fly paramotors. And that's what I use mine for. I might take someone up on a recreational ride, but I always incorporate some sort of education into it. And typically I'm flying patterns at the airport so that there's no oddities, there's no weird bailouts, you gotta keep the risk ultra low. You gotta keep the risk ultra low when you have another soul on board. You can't do the things that you would do by yourself and make those type of decisions where you can get a little risky biscuits with it. That's not what it is when you take somebody else up. And if you fly tandems or you want to fly tandems, there's a couple of things that you need to consider, especially not coming from a licensed pilot background. That's something when we doing our pilot training, it's solo. You're with the instructor or you're by yourself. There are no passengers involved until you actually get your ticket, get your license. That's what the license is. That's a privilege to carry passengers and exercise these privileges. And with paramotors, the only privilege we have is to do, tandems for training. And it used to be foot launch, and that brought with it all kind of conundrums. Foot launch paramotor's fun, but man, I've bent more tandem bars than I want to count. But since the wheeled option came out, that really opened up a lot of tandem options for people that may not be trained or ready. Just because you can do it don't mean you're the right person to do it. And if you just want to buy a tandem to give somebody a ride, you're in it for the wrong reasons. And I suggest that you don't. Just get a single place, fly by the rules of 103. Don't worry about a tandem. It's not what it's for. It's not for taking your friends up or giving people rides. It's for teaching. It's for teaching. And that's what I do. That's what I do for a living, is teach people to fly paramotors. And I use tandems as another tool to teach people to fly. It's just another tool in the toolbox. I know the rules get bent and things get shady and there's all sort of gray areas, with a lot of things. But with tandem paramotor flying, it's really not. You're supposed to use it for training. That's the privilege they give us with this Part 103 stuff. I was late to get on the wheeled tandem train. I wanted to kind of let it play out a little, see what it all kind of amounted to. And what I'm seeing is more and more people getting in it either too soon or with the wrong type of attitude toward it. Like they just want to take people up and share it. And that's great. And I'm glad that you do, but that's not the reason to do it. That's not the reason to do it. And I feel like I need to say something for anybody that's going down that road, that's aiming towards bringing a passenger up. Tap the brakes. Make sure that you got your skills, for one thing. If you've not been flying for more than a year, all 4 seasons, you probably don't have enough to bring up a passenger, preferably 2 years before you start involving another party. If you're gonna be teaching, first thing you wanna do is bag some experience. Cover all your bases, learn the stuff, learn the material. You're gonna learn things as you teach, you're gonna learn how to teach, and you're gonna find different methods that work for different students in different situations. But But the wheeled tandem options, people can just buy them and throw somebody on board and go smash them into whatever. So take a different look at it. Take a different thought about it before you go out there and do it. Hey neighbors. Yeah, I'm sitting on the front porch shooting a video. I don't know what happened. I don't know the details, but I can only imagine 4th of July weekend. Hey, let's go fly down at the river and wave at the boats. There's a problem, you go in and your passenger drowns. You know, there's no circumstance that I can think of in my mind where you would take a passenger on board a paramotor and fly with a river as the bailout option. That's just undue, it's untoward risk. You shouldn't do it. Even other places, even over trees or congested areas in the vicinity, is probably out of the question for tandem paramotor operations. So give it some thought. When you strap another person on board one of these Wile E. Coyote Acme Flying Kit rigs, you gotta take a different mindset. You gotta take a step back and you gotta put yourself in a super reasonable situation. You got to. There's no other way around it. I know people make bad decisions. I'm guilty, we're all guilty. Everybody's made a decision they've looked back on and thought, you know, I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have come at it from that angle, whatever that may be. It's sad. It's sad that somebody died, but you know, it gives me a reason to come on here. I've not been making videos in a while. Yeah, you know, I guess I should probably update everyone on my personal situation here. Spring semester, March 1st through last week. You know, I'm training. I got students here every day, and it's been pretty good weather the whole time. It got hot there at the end. The last student, it was a brutal run. It was high 90s. High humidity. It was 0 wind, which made it very, very difficult for training situation. Summertime's here. I take a break during the summer just because it gets so blooming hot. I may do some travel up north in a while. I planned on making a few videos in the interim, but that didn't work out. I've come to the time in my life when everything that I touch breaks immediately, no matter what it is. No matter what it is, everything it seems to be broken, and I'm spending all my spare time fixing things. It's just like a non-stop repair conundrum. I'm just looking around at all the shit that's broken, laying around the shop. My son coming home from football practice. I got the trees trimmed. I could even squeeze a paraglider through that gap right there. But that would be a bad decision, and I shouldn't probably try to do that. Think about these things ahead of time. They're a perfect example right there. Like, yeah, I could fit, but I shouldn't. There's things that you shouldn't do, especially if you have a passenger on board. You've got to put yourself, you know, the guy who did the examination, my airplane examination, when I did my flight exam and got my license, he told me, he said, you know, you can do everything right or wrong. He said, the way I judge it on a basic level is, would I trust you to bring my grandchildren up and get them back down safely? That's a good yardstick, you know. Think about that if you're taking somebody up. If it was your own grandchildren, how would you hope that the pilot would treat them? What's up, loser?
I'm lazy. I got to take a cruise around town.
Driving illegally, are you?
Yeah, I had to take Sonny home.
You got to make good decisions.
Hey, I did. I was driving back roads.
You're taking passengers with you?
Yeah. And
have you talked to the FAA?
What? No. Hey, I got to go to the speed limit.
Oh, I failed as a parent.
No, you didn't.
I failed as a parent. I was just talking about somebody got somebody killed in Oregon.
How?
Took a tandem passenger, crashed in the river, drowned the passenger, the pilot got out alive.
How?
I guess they crashed in the fucking river. But the decision was to go out over the fucking river. You see what I'm saying? That's what this video's about.
That's kind of dumb.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. And I was just telling them, like, when you got somebody on board and in the seat with that thing, you got to do it a little different. You can go kill yourself in the river. That's fine. You know, we'll all read the article and figure out, like, man, he shouldn't have been flying in the river. And I'm trying not to pick on the pilot specifically. I don't know the situation. I don't know the details, but I know that a tandem paramotor went down in a river. And you know, there's ways that can be avoided. Number one, by not flying over a fucking river. That's the number one thing you could do. And I was just talking to all the new paramotor tandem pilots that may be wanting to make these decisions and take somebody up because they've been flying and they can do all these cool tricks now, and they got them a nice, big, new, shiny tandem rig, and they're like, hey, get on, let's go fly. And they're gonna take them up and fly just like they do when they're by themselves. And that's the wrong decision. It's the wrong decision. You gotta choke it back. You know, go do the dumb shit alone, and then be reserved for the passenger. Teach them. Use it for teaching is the main thing. That's the moral of the story. Keep it legal if you can. We all make bad decisions.
Hey, I had to take someone in need to their house.
Yeah, if you're in need, then I guess it's acceptable to break the law. I ran a stop sign once. I sped before. There's lots of things that I've done. It may not be on the level or legal, but you know, usually I'm trying to do those things by myself. I'm not trying to put other people at risk. And I thought it should just be said here on the internet. And because I ain't made a video in a while, I thought I might as well say it. Sorry I went through the story twice. Had to explain to Ian there what was going on. It's a rainy day in North Louisiana. We needed a shot of rain because it's been so hot. It's been so hot around here. This paramotor spring came off and went through the propeller the other day. I did a precautionary landing. I heard a thump. I was in flight with a student. We were communicating. He was on his own paramotor, and I told him, I heard a loud noise. I'm gonna land and see what it is. Make sure I'm not having a high-speed come apart. I landed in a guy's yard, checked my machine. I saw that it was one exhaust spring that had ejected. I learned something from that. The exhaust springs had one safety wire that went through all of them, but the safety wire was busted too. So I like to do individual safety wires for each spring. That's just me personally. Probably because I'm too lazy to route the freaking thing through all the springs, but I find that, you know, if one breaks, it'll probably catch pieces of it. But it went through the prop and put a big gash in the prop, a big dent in it. I think most of the carbon's still there. I'm gonna fix it later. This paramotor over here, it's got some kind of carburetor issue. Not running right. It's like 0 to hero. I gotta probably change the membranes out in the carb. Maybe the pop-off pressure's out of calibration. One back there on the table, it needs a new clutch. The automated down there on the floor, it needs a new gearbox seal. And, you know, everything's broken. My lawnmower quit starting, had to change the starter out on the lawnmower. The pool pump's broken, I ain't even fixed that yet. It's green as a damn frog pond over there. The irrigation system went down yesterday for the property and watering the horse pastures. So thank goodness we got rain today. I got the parts to fix that. That's not the biggest thing, but you know, broken things kind of come in waves in this world, and I've had a tidal wave of broken things. Just a tidal wave of broken things. Storm took that carport right there, that wadded up, chewed up carport. It had bounced off the top of the barn. A tornado picked it up from this Bradford pear tree at the front of the house here. Like 4 8-inch limbs broke off of that thing in the same storm and damaged the front of the house. I got an insurance claim on that one, but I still got to fix the fucking house. Probably some hail damage. We had a week of bad storms. Firewood rack blew over. It was some nasty winds, some nasty straight line micro burst style winds, and wrecked a bunch of stuff. It wrecked a bunch of stuff. A lot of trees down. Some people got it worse. 2 houses down the road burned to the ground. What else is broken? I thought of a bunch of other things too. Earlier, I was gonna make a list of broken stuff, but I'm not really wanting to come on the internet to bitch about all the bad things in my life. I can fix the things. Oh, the barn, where the carport hit the barn over here. This carport bounced off the top of this barn and it crushed in the roof, and all the wood broke down from the inside of it. So it's probably leaking all over the horse tack right now. Anyway, that's where I've been. That's what's been going on. And this isn't a pity party for old Kylo here. I don't care. Like I say, I'll fix this stuff. But it's been too hot to fix it lately, man. It's been excessive heat warning after excessive heat warning around here. You can't do much outside in just short little spurts. Early mornings for a little while, you're gonna get wet with sweat. Your sweat's gonna, if you don't live here, you don't live in a humid, hot, high, excessive heat area, then you just don't know. And you just don't know. I'm sure everybody's felt a little heat before, but when you get it in sort of bucketfuls like we've had it hurts. It hurts. It takes the wind right out of you. But that's where I've been. That's what I've been doing. And I just wanted to come on here and talk mainly about, you know, the tandem thing. And if you're a tandem pilot or looking toward that, I want you to come at it from the right perspective and do it the right way. That's the biggest thing. If it saves a life, it's worth mentioning. I hope you found this video informative. I'm sorry it's not very entertaining, but I'm just gonna come at you with a little sermon style preachy video about what to do, what not to do. Do the things I say, not the things I do. Although I really try down in my heart to make the good decisions, and most certainly if I've got another soul on board. You gotta look at it from that point of view. Take that to heart if you will. And if you made it this far, thanks for watching. I'll catch you real soon in the next one. I'll make some videos. Maybe we'll have another rainy day or something. I don't know. Tomorrow's the 4th. I got nothing going on. I'm too old to blow shit up. I'd probably break something if I did. I'll catch y'all real soon in the next one. Much love. Kyle out.